Hello, baseball fans. It is game time from the friendly confines. Start number 34 in our Fergie Jenkins 1969 payoff pitch replay. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. And in today's game, Fergie and the Cubs welcome the Houston Astros with Jack Billingham on the hill opposing Fergie. And our starting lineups for the Astros: Jesus Alou in left field, Joe Morgan at second, Toy Can and Jimmy Wynn in center, Norm Miller in right, Kurt Blefary at first, Dennis Menke the shortstop, Doug Rader at third, Johnny Edwards behind the plate. And of course, batting ninth, the pitcher Jack Billingham. For your homestanding Cubs, the standard lineup: Don Kessinger at short, Glenn Beckert at second, sweet swinging Billy Williams in left, Ron Santo at third, Ernie Banks at first, Jim Hickman in right, Randy Hundley behind the plate, Don Young in center, and of course Fergie on the mound. Coming into this game, Fergie in real life had a record of 17-11, a 2.82 ERA, 207 hits surrendered in 248 innings pitched, 58 walks, 222 Ks, and 20 home runs allowed. In the replay, Fergie currently sits at 21-9, a 2.05 ERA, 263 innings pitched, 190 hits, 39 walks, 223 Ks, and 15 home runs allowed. In real life, this game ended in a 10-9 victory for the Cubs, and it was played on August 24th, 1969. And coming into the game, the Cubbies had a record of 20-13 when Fergie is on the hill. In the replay, a couple of games better. They are 22-11. So formalities out of the way, let's play ball. Jesus Alou leading off against Fergie. And Fergie's going to start it off in play. And that is going to be a ground ball down to third base. Ernie Banks going to take that himself. Unassisted, 3. And Fergie Jenkins off to his typically good start. That's going to be a tough result, and it's a fly ball into right field. And going back to take that one in short of the track is Hickman, 2 quick outs. And that brings up the toy cannon, Jimmy Wynn. Wynn's got a little bit of pop in his bat if he can get a wheelhouse result. Instead, that's going to be in play, and a ground ball down to short. Kessinger across the diamond. 3 up, 3 down go the Stros in the first inning. Cubbies coming to bat. And it will be Don Kessinger leading it off against Billingham. And Billingham starts out tough, and Kessinger grounds that down to second base. Easy play there for Morgan, and 1 out for the Cubbies in the bottom of the first inning. Second baseman Glenn Beckert, the batter. And again, tough result for Billingham, and that's just going to be off the hit card, a ground ball down to third. So 5-3 on the putout as Radar takes care of that for the Stros. And Billingham matching Fergie. Wheelhouse, so 82, sweet swinging Billy Williams, and that is a fly ball. Popped up and actually just into the outfield. That will be a fly out to the second baseman. And 3 up, 3 down go the Cubbies. So both teams looking for their first hit in this one as second inning begins with Norm Miller batting. And it's going to be an in-play result and double zeros. And that is going to take us to the rare event chart. And again, using my own personal rare event chart, which will eventually be part of Glory Days Baseball. So base is empty. And a result of 51. And that is going to go to the weather chart. We are just doing a replay, so we will skip the weather chart and get back to normal action here. So once again, in play, and Miller, 74 is going to be a fly ball into center field. And that is a can of corn out there for Young. 1 down. Kurt Blefary, the batter. Blefary against right-handers in 69, hit 277 with 10 home runs. And here comes a pitch from Fergie. That's going to be an in-play result. And Blefary, ground ball back to Fergie, flips it over to Banks. So 5 face, 5 set down as Dennis Menke steps in with 2 down for the Stros. And that's going to be another in-play result. Ground ball to Kessinger, and 3 up, 3 down again. So Fergie starting off tough. He's had slow starts 2 of his last 3 outings, but Back in top form right now as Ron Santo leads it off for the Cubs, and that's going to be a tough result. And Santo, ground ball down to second base. Morgan whips it to Leffery, and one quick out for the Cubbies. And Billingham, wheelhouse, 0-6. Ernie gets into that, and that is deep and gone out of the park onto Waveland Avenue. A solo home run for Mr. Cubby. Cubs break on top 1-0, and that was a no-doubter. Ernie got every stitch of that. And the crowd on their feet as he rounds the bases. Welcome back to the dugout with high fives and handshakes. And going to be a ballpark result. And for Hickman, wheelhouse again. And Hickman, 1-75. And Hickman back-to-back jacks. And that just scrapes over the left field wall. And the Cubbies, 2-0 lead now is Billingham. Back-to-back gopher balls served up. And that's going to bring up Randy Hundley. Crowd had not even sat down from Banks' home run. So let's see if Hundley can make it 3 in a row. In play result. And that's going to be a ground ball down to short. So Dennis Menke gets the second out of the inning as Billingham breathes a sigh of relief, and Don Young the batter. And yet another ballpark and another wheelhouse result, and Young. See if we can get 3 in this inning, and a big swing, and 42. That's going to be a sharp single back up the middle. So Young. And let's see if we are potentially going to steal. No. Young is a horrible base stealer. So we'll go to Fergie, see if Fergie can help himself out. He's done it throughout the replay. Not this time, though, as Billingham, angry at the home run, strikes out Jenkins on 4 pitches. So side retired, but not before the Cubbies get 2 runs on back-to-back home runs by Banks and Hickman. We head to the top of the third, 2-0, Chicago in the lead. And Doug Radar set to bat against Fergie. 11, that's going to be a defensive result. And I do not have the fast action cards out. So, of course, for base runner, advancement, and errors, I use the fast action cards. So 0-6 going to be bad for the Cubbies regardless of the outcome here. It's going to be a range check on third base, and at third base for the Cubs, Ron Santo is a C, and he's not even going to come close to getting that. That's a hit into left field. So the Astros finally have a base runner here in the bottom of the third inning. That brings up Johnny Edwards, the catcher. Jenkins sets, gets a sign, tough, kicks, delivers, and 59, tough, and that is going to be a fly ball into left field. So too shallow to move up the base runner. And I'm in rare form today. Forgot the pitching card for Billingham. And Billingham is a horrible hitting pitcher. So 1 down, runner at first base, and Fergie looking for the strikeout here. 8, that's going to be tough, and 3 straight pitches, and back to the dugout goes Birmingham. Struck him out. Top of the order, Jesus Alou. Runner on first base, Fergie, looking to get out of this without any further damage. That's going to be a patient result. And Alou, it's going to be a fly ball into center field. Easy play for Young. And the Astros get a hit, but then 3 straight batters are retired as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Chicago up 2-0. Top of the order, Don Kessinger set to lead it off against Billingham. And it is going to be a tough result, and that's going to be a fly ball into right field by Kessinger. And moving to his left a few feet to pull that in is Norm Miller. 1 down. Glenn Beckert, the batter. Beckert, first time up, grounded out to third base. And here comes a pitch. That's going to be an in-play result and ground ball to shortstop this time. Easy throw across the diamond for Menke, and 2 down. Sweet swinging Billy Williams. Going to get in on some of that home run action, and that's going to be a ballpark. That's going to be wheelhouse, and Williams swings away, a big cut, and that is going to be a fly ball deep into center field, going back to the wall and pulling it in at the wall is the toy cannon, Jimmy Wynn. So Billingham rebounds with a 3-up, 3-down inning. And the sweet swinging one gave that a ride, but fell just a bit short as we head to the top of the fourth. Chicago 2, Houston 0. Joe Morgan, and 11 is going to be another defensive check. 79 should be a good result for the Cubbies, though, and range of B is Kessinger, and he's going to easily get to that. Whips it across the diamond, and Morgan is retired on a nice play by the Cubbies shortstop. One down, and Jimmy Wynn steps up. Wynn would love a pitch right down the middle. Instead, he's going to get a tough pitch, and 68 will be a ground ball to second base. Beckert to Hopper, whips that over to Banks, and 2 outs for the Cubbies. So Fergie looking tough in this one, and an in-play result for Norm Miller, and that's a ground ball down to short. So Kessinger takes care of that. Another 3-up, 3-down inning. 3 of 4 have gone that way for Fergie as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Chicago 2, Houston 0. Ron Santo grounded out to second base his first time up, and Wheelhouse had Santo, and the Cubs have done it again. That is a monstrous blast into left field, and again onto Waveland Avenue. 3-0 on the circuit clout by Santo, and 3 home runs for the Cubbies. I think that matches the most we have had in one game. Still plenty of time to go. Let's see if we can get our fourth one. Is Ernie Banks, who blasted one out of sight his first time up, and that is going to be another rare play result. So base is empty. Let's see what's up this time on the rare play chart. 24, Fan interferes with a foul ball by grabbing the left fielder's glove. Batter is ruled out. So Ernie Banks, that goes as an F7, and he's not too happy. And it looks like that was Grandpa Bartman out there on the left field stands making the play for the Cubs. So 1 down, and Jim Hickman will be the batter. A patient result for Hickman, and 69, that'll be a fly ball into center field. And Jimmy Wynn ranges to his right, pulls that in with one hand, whips it back into the infield. 2 outs for Randy Hundley. And 10, Ballpark. This is going to be in play and not Wheelhouse, thankfully, for Billingham. 75 will be another fly ball into center field, and another easy put out for Wynn, so the Cubbies are retired. But get 1 hit, 1 run, nobody left. The circuit shot by Ron Santo gives the Cubs a 3-0 lead as we head to the 5th inning. And Fergie, thus far, looking like that is all he is going to need, a defensive check. And we're going to have an error check on the shortstop Kessinger. His error rating is a 5. And 27, he is going to boot that. So the Astros, Bleffery, takes advantage of the E6 to give the Stros a base runner, and Fergie nods to Kessinger, who apologizes. Gets set to go to Menke, and another defensive check. 92 will be an out no matter what, and it'll be an error check on the second baseman. And Beckert is a 2, so he is not very good, but he makes a play there. So potential double play 11, and that's going to get the runner to second base with the only out coming at first. So 1 down, and runner in scoring position for the Stros. It would be an unearned run if he does come around to score. 4, that's going to be Ballpark. 47, Wheelhouse, and Raider, 51 or less. He's going to put this into play. Not going to happen. A fly ball into right field, and that's going to be short of the track. Going back to pull that in is Hickman. So 2 down, and Fergie going to get out of the inning without any damage from the error. And a tough result to Johnny Edwards, 47, and that will be a ground ball down to third. Santo, long throw across the diamond, and Fergie comes back strong after the error. So the Astros leave 1. We are through 4.5. Cubbies 3, Stros 0. And Billingham, this might be the last hurrah for him as he faces Don Young. A defensive check for Billingham now. And we're going to have a range check. Third baseman, and Raider is a D. Not very good. 57, but he just gets to that play, gets it across the diamond, and Blefary scoops that out of the dirt, 1 down. And Fergie, the batter now, looking to help himself extend that lead. And wouldn't you know it, Tough and Fergie caught looking on the slider. Strike 3, second time he's fanned. Back to the top of the order, 2 outs now. And looks like Billingham might get a chance to pitch past the 5th if he can get Kessinger here. 4 is going to be a ballpark result, 53. Just misses wheelhouse. In play for Kessinger. And Smokin' Don, ground ball down to first base, unassisted there for Blefary. And Cubbies are retired. 3 up, 3 down. So we are heading to the 6th inning, and Billingham down 3-0. They're going to keep him in at least for 1 more at bat. And that's going to be a patient result. 33 will be a ground ball down to Banks, and Banks picks that up himself. Waves Fergie off, steps on the bag, 1 down, back to the top of the order for Jesus Alou, one of the famous Alou ball-playing brothers. And 7, we get an in-play result, and Jesus, 33, will be a ground ball down to Banks again. This time he's going to flip it to Fergie covering. 3-1 on the putout, and 2 down for the Astros in the 6th. As Joe Morgan goes through his chicken dance routine, here comes the pitch, and it's going to be a ground ball down to Kessinger. So Fergie working a 1-hitter through 6 as we head to the bottom of the stanza. Cubbies with a 3-0 lead, and Glenn Becker set to lead it off against Billingham, who gets, actually will be fatigued after this inning. So tough result, and Becker, he's going to drive that down the line. Fights off a tough pitch, and he's going to be in with a stand-up double. So that's going to get some action immediately going in the Houston bullpen. So we have a righty in Dooley Womack and a lefty in Wade Blasingame warming up as Becker stands on second base. Here comes a pitch, ballpark, and that's going to be in play for sweet swinging Billy Williams. And 0-3, Williams, and back-to-back doubles, and the Cubbies notch run number 4 as Becker comes in to score. And in the Astros bullpen, they should have pinch hit for Billingham. Both pitchers warming up furiously now. In play result to Santo, and 49 will be a pop fly into shallow left field, and going back to take that in is Mankey. Williams holds at second, 1 down. As Mr. Cubby, 1 for 2 today with a solo home run back in the 2nd. And 8, that's going to be tough. 70, and that'll be a ground ball down to second base. That'll move the runner along. 4-3 on the putout as Morgan has to go to his left to pull that in, and that'll bring up Jim Hickman with yet another run 90 feet away. Billingham looks to get out of this, and that'll be a patient result. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Mankey. Mankey whips that across the diamond, and Blefary squeezes it, side retired, but not before the Cubbies add another run on a couple of doubles. We are through 6, 4-0. Chicago has the lead. And Jimmy Wynn set to lead things off for the Astros here. 8, it's going to be a tough result, 69, and 69 will be a ground ball down to Becker. So Fergie rolling along, 1-hitter through 6 1/3. And tough result to Norm Miller. That's going to be a fly ball into right field, and coming in to take that, underhanded basket catch, Willie Mays style. Jim Hickman with the putout, and 2 down, Blefary the batter. And Blefary, he's going to drive that right back up the middle, and the Astros have their 2nd hit of the game. And Blefary, who also reached on an error, gets a lead off of first base for Dennis Mankey. Fergie not too worried as he sets to face Mankey, and that's going to be a tough result. And Mankey drives that into the outfield. Single, sharp liner into center field. And runner on first will move up 1. So back-to-back singles for the Astros, and they show a little bit of life here as Fergie set to take on Rader. And 12, Wheelhouse 56, and Radar takes a big hack at that, and that's going to be driven into right field, but plenty of room out there to make the play for Hickman. So it looked good off the bat, but kind of died as the Astros are retired. They get a couple of hits, leave both base runners, and we are heading into the 7th inning stretch here at Wrigley Field. Astros trail 4-0, and Billingham, he is going to have to be replaced. So he goes 6 innings, gives up 6 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. And his big Achilles heel was the long ball as he strikes out 2 and does not walk anybody, but 3 home runs. Kind of did things in for Jack, and we're going to bring in. We'll bring in Blasingame. Actually, we're going to bring in Dooley Womack, who is a long reliever. So he'll look to keep things close as he sets to face Randy Hundley. Here comes a pitch, and 7 going to be in play. That's going to be a fly ball into center field. Easy play out there for the Red center field, or the Astros center fielder, Jimmy Wynn. I see Joe Morgan on this lineup sheet and just want to always say Reds. But Womack, that's going to be a tough result to Don Young, and Womack freezes him with a nice curveball outside corner. Thumb goes up, and Young back to the dugout, 2 down. Fergie coming up. Fergie struck out twice today. And it's going to be a ballpark check, 52, Wheelhouse, and Fergie, he's got a shot, and no, it's going to be a fly ball into left field. And just to the lip of the warning track before it's hauled in out there by Alou. So 3 up, 3 down. Cubbies go in the 7th inning. 6 outs to go for the Astros, and Fergie looking tough on the mound. And Womack, he'll be done after that inning. So Womack comes in and does his job. A perfect 7th inning. And Blasingame will look to close it out for the Reds, or Astros, are ready to go again. So, Johnny Edwards, 10, and that's going to be an in-play result from Fergie. A ground ball down to third. Santo charges that, sidearms it across the diamond to Banks, 1 down. The pitcher spot up next as we go to the Astros bench. And the pinch hitter is going to be Marty Martinez. Martinez, very successful against right-handers in 1969. He hit .348 against lefties. So Fergie, see if he can settle down and retire him. 52 is going to be in play. Ground ball down to third base, and Santo with another put out. Back to the top of the order, 2 down. And Fergie, the nice 3-hitter, intact as Jesus Alou set to bat for the 4th time today. And 5, that'll be a patient result, 59. And a ground ball down to Becker. So 3 ground outs for Fergie as the Astros are once again set down in order. Heading to the bottom of the 8th inning, 4-0, Cubbies in the lead. And Blasingame in now for the Astros to face Don Kessinger. That'll be an in-play result. And Kessinger drives that into the gap, and Kessinger coming around first base. Here comes a throw in from Wynn. He slides head first, is safe. So Kessinger leads off the 8th inning with a double, and that is the 6th extra base hit of the day for the Cubbies. Only 1 single, 3 doubles, and 3 home runs as Becker steps in. And that'll be a patient result as Becker fly ball into shallow center field, and Wynn comes in to take that. Kessinger has to hustle back to the bag as Billy Williams is the next Cubbies batter. He's 1 for 3, double and a ribby today. And patient result, and Williams, he's going to draw the base on balls. So runners on first and second in Blasingame. Not that the Astros are going to get 4 runs in the ninth, but he'd like to keep it a little bit closer. 72 on a patient check. That's going to be a ground ball down to second base, and double play 10 for Bassingame and 7. So that will be a fielder's choice. Over to third goes Kessinger. And 4-6 on the putout. So runners at the corners now, and that brings up Ernie Banks, 2 down. Ernie looking to blow this one open. Tough, 36. Not going to happen there as Blasingame, the high heat, gets Banks swinging. So Cubbies threaten but are retired. They get a walk and a double. Leave 2. We are through 8. Chicago 4. Houston 0 as Joe Morgan set to lead it off against Fergie, who's looking for another complete game, and I believe his 5th shutout of the replay. So that's going to be an in-play result for Morgan. And 25, Joe Morgan loops a single over the second baseman's head. Becker leaps, can't bring it in though, and the Astros have the leadoff runner here in the ninth. I'm going to see if Joe Morgan's going to try and steal. Not going to get the lead. Let the toy cannon hit away, and tough, 79. And he takes a big cut, but that's going to be a fly ball into center field. And easy play for Young, who hardly has to move out there. 1 down. Norm Miller, the batter, and patient result to Miller, and Miller draws a base on ball. So Fergie perhaps showing a little bit of fatigue here as Hank Aguirre and Phil Regan get up and begin to throw in the Cubbies bullpen. Wheelhouse Blefary, he got all of that. That is gone. Deep fly ball into right field to the top of the stands, and suddenly it is a 4-3 ball game, folks, as the Stros come firing back, and Kurt Blefary, the fans knew from the time that left the bat that it was gone, and Fergie falling apart in the ninth after a stellar outing. And with 3 runs given up, he's got to face one more batter, so here we go. And that is going to be a tough result to Menke, and 87. That will be a ground ball down to short. And that's going to be it for Fergie. So Fergie's going to get pulled 8 2/3. And coming into the ninth, he only gave up 5 hits for the entire day. But 3 runs, all of them earned. And he had not a big day with strikeouts for Fergie. Actually, only a single strikeout to go with 1 walk. And, of course, that big home run by Blefary. As Regan is going to come in and try and nail it down for the save. And he will face Doug Rader. So Fergie looked like he was coasting to a complete game shutout. And then the wheels just came off in the ninth. That's going to be an in-play result. And Radar, 56, going to be a fly ball into right field near the foul line. Ranging over to pull that in is Hickman, and side is retired. Ball game over. So the Stros made it interesting. 3 runs on a couple of hits. But the Cubbies hang on for the victory, 4-3, as Fergie Jenkins, he is going to win start number 22 of this replay. And he stays on pace. The Cubbies now 23-11 in games Fergie has started. They were 21-13 in real life at this point. But excellent ball game. Exciting finish there at the end. So for the Astros, they get 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors. Cubbies 4 runs on 7 hits, 1 error. And again, the Cubbies, beneficiaries of the long ball today, 3 solo home runs, and that was pretty much a difference in the game. Stros made it a ball game themselves with a 3-run blast in the top of the ninth. So player of the game, Definitely would have been Fergie if he hadn't just fallen apart there. Really, going by straight stats, it would have to be Blefary for the Stros. He was 2 for 4, their entire offense basically, with 3 RBIs and a run scored. So we will give it to him on the winning team. You could give it to, I guess, any one of 3 players, Santo, Banks, or Hickman, but we'll settle with Blefary. He had the best offensive performance. Exciting game. So Fergie, as this replay winds down, Fergie will have just 6 more starts, and that'll be it. And then we will put 1969 away. The next payoff pitch set I'm going to get is the 1979 season, which should also be a bunch of fun. So if you do not know, just a reminder, we will be giving away either a Strat-o-matic card set, 1911, 1977, and 2017 seasons, or a complete copy of Glory Days Boxing. That will take place Saturday morning. We'll do a live drawing. And I believe thus far we've got 23 people entered into that. So if you still want to get in on that, leave a comment. But as always, appreciate the support. And Fergie, Stros made it close, but he hangs on for his 22nd wing. So we will say goodbye from the friendly confines of Wrigley. Harry, Carey, and I are going to go across the street, and Harry will drink a couple of cold buds, I'm sure. I'm going to have a gin and tonic. So until next time, keep rolling for the fences, and we will see you later. Have a good one.